Have you ever just stopped and thought about all the countless invisible things happening inside your body right now, just to keep you going? Well, today we're diving into the silent force that keeps you in perfect balance. It's basically the operating system of life itself, homeostasis. I mean, seriously, think about it. As you're listening to this whole symphony of incredibly complex processes is just happening. Your heart's beating at the perfect speed, your body temperature is holding steady, and the energy from your last meal is being managed perfectly. And the wildest part? You don't have to do a thing. It all just works.
So that begs the question, right? If you're not consciously controlling any of this, then who is? What's the command center? Who's the manager in charge of this whole biological machine?
And here's where it gets really mind-bending. There isn't one. There's no little CEO sitting at a desk, no central switchboard pulling all the levers. And yet, somehow, against all odds, everything stays in this incredible state of balance. And that's the puzzle we're digging into today.
Okay, so the scientific name for this amazing biological balancing act, the one idea that ties everything together from our DNA to our organs, is homeostasis.
So what is it exactly? Well, to put it simply, homeostasis is your body's amazing talent for keeping its internal world stable and consistent, even when the outside world is totally chaotic. It's the reason you can walk outside on a freezing cold day or survive a blistering hot summer afternoon.
Now, here's a really important distinction. Stable does not mean static. Your body isn't frozen in one state, not at all. The key idea is that things are allowed to fluctuate, but only inside a very tight, very healthy range.
Yeah, take your body temperature, for instance. It's not locked in at exactly 37 degrees Celsius or 98.6 Fahrenheit 24/7. It actually drifts up and down a little. But homeostasis is the force that makes sure it never wanders too far off that sweet spot. It's not static. It's what we call dynamic stability.
So, if there's no manager, how on earth does the body know when to make all these tiny little adjustments? Well, the answer is in this brilliantly simple self-correcting system that's happening all over your body all the time.
The engine that drives this whole thing is something called a negative feedback loop. Honestly, if you understand this one concept, you've pretty much cracked the code on how your body regulates itself without you even thinking about it.
And it's a beautifully simple four-step process. First, something inside you drifts away from its target. Second, tiny sensors all over your body pick up on that change. Third, those sensors send out an alert. And fourth, this is the key, a response kicks in that directly reverses the change, pushing the system right back to where it needs to be. And our temperature example shows this perfectly. If you get too hot, sensors notice, signals are sent, and you start to sweat to cool off. Get too cold, your muscles get the signal to shiver, which generates heat. See? The system doesn't freak out, it just corrects.
It's this incredibly elegant, self-correcting system. It's like a form of distributed intelligence that's just woven right into your biology. No brain power required.
Let's go one layer deeper with another classic example, blood sugar. After you eat, your blood glucose goes up. Your pancreas senses this and releases a hormone called insulin. Insulin then tells your cells, hey, absorb this sugar, and your blood sugar goes back down. On the flip side, if your blood sugar drops too low, the pancreas releases a different hormone, glucagon, to bring it back up. It's like a perfectly choreographed dance.
This whole system is just amazing when it's working. But what happens when that delicate balance is lost? This is where we really see the deep connection between homeostasis and our health. And here's the bottom line. You could almost define health as a state of successful regulation. And so often, disease is what happens when you lose that feedback control. The moment one of these critical loops just breaks. Just look at these real-world examples. In type 1 diabetes, that blood sugar feedback loop is broken. The body just can't make insulin. Or in many cancers, the feedback loops that tell cells when to stop growing are completely ignored, which leads to that uncontrolled division. It really shows you how high the stakes are for maintaining this balance. This gives us a much more powerful way to think about being healthy, doesn't it? It's not just about not being sick. Real health is the active, ongoing, successful process of keeping everything in balance. Okay, so now let's zoom all the way out and connect all the dots. This is where we get to see the really beautiful big picture of what life actually is. Think about it. Everything we learn in biology, from the code in our DNA to the signals our cells send each other, it all serves one ultimate purpose: maintaining balance. DNA gives the instructions, genes build the tools, cell signals coordinate the team, and these feedback loops make sure the whole response is just right.
And this brings us to what I think is the most profound realization of all. Life isn't just about the physical stuff we're made of, the cells and the organs. At its very core, life is a process. Life is regulated stability. It's the constant, dynamic act of creating order in a universe that tends towards chaos.
So, I'll leave you with this to chew on. If this principle of regulated balance is the absolute bedrock of life itself, what does that say about all the other complex systems out there? How important is that same idea of balance in our environment, in our societies, even in our own personal lives? It kind of feels like biology is trying to teach us a universal truth.